day, good night, all. CFR Network, CFR News, back in the lab, diligently working hard. And one more again, I have some feminine energy across the pond. Avery Jane, former ballet dancer, Louisiana raised, born and bred from that boot, now over in LA. Welcome to the broadcast, young lady. How art thou?
Hello, hello. I'm wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you so much for carving out some time. I gave you a very little brief introduction. Can you fill in a few blanks for the listeners who are thinking, where's Noble going to go today with this conversation?
Yes. So let's see. I am a former dancer and still currently a dancer of sorts. Just now dancing of a little naughtier kind. I am an adult entertainer. I am a porn star, stripper, um, sex worker, and performer.
Excellent, you do it all. You're juggling all of the balls, young lady. So clearly you're very well versed. You're very well versed. Let's we're in the present. Let's rewind time a little bit. Let's kick Marty and Doc out of the DeLorean and let's go back in time to Louisiana. What part specifically of Louisiana was you kicking around in?
I guess like southern Louisiana, not too far off from New Orleans.
Okay, okay. What in between like Baton Rouge and New Orleans, that kind of end?
Nearby. I did live in
Okay.
Baton Rouge for a little bit.
Okay.
Not from Baton Rouge, but I did live there for a little while
Yes.
before I hopped over to California.
And what was it like in Louisiana? Because I've got some associates, some friends. I thoroughly enjoy the culture of New Orleans and Louisiana in its whole. How was it for you growing up there? What was it like? Was it fun? Was it dangerous? Was it adventurous?
Um, I mean, it was definitely a unique experience growing up there, I'd say. Um, it's very Southern, very Bible Belt. So I grew up Catholic. I grew up around like a lot of religion.
Hmm.
Um, Also, it has the best food, I personally think, like on the planet. I think you're gonna find the best food in Louisiana. So I grew up kind of spoiled on like really good food,
Hmm.
really good seafood, just really good spices,
Yep.
and you know,
That Cajun spice, that gumbo, we know it. We know
all
it
that,
well.
all that.
Yes.
So, definitely grateful that I got to grow up around that. And just like your typical Southern culture,
Mhm.
rodeos, cowboy boots, like,
Okay. So
you know,
you wasn't necessarily big city then. You was in, you know, a little bit more rural setting, should we say?
yeah. It's funny in Louisiana, it's like I don't know if anything's gonna be like as big city as Los Angeles. Like, even New Orleans, it's still pretty like residential feeling and a lot of it. There's like some of like the city area, but
Yeah,
nothing's gonna be like crazy like this.
definitely not. It's apples and oranges, isn't it? To where you
Yeah.
are now. I, it shocks me. I didn't necessarily think that Catholicism would be as big down in Louisiana. Um, I thought it'd be more sort of Baptist and Methodist.
Honestly, there's a lot, just like Christianity as a whole. So there's like a lot of Catholicism, a lot of Baptists, a lot of just like non-denominational churches. Like you just have a lot of different
Okay.
like Christian-based religions out there.
And is that something you still hold dear to, or has your spiritual and religious journey evolved since your time in Louisiana?
It's definitely evolved. I won't necessarily say that like I, am still like I'm not like a practicing Catholic. I didn't get confirmed or anything. Um,
Did you have your
but
Did you have your Holy Communion?
yeah, yeah, I did have my communions. I made it up to that point. Communion was what? Younger, right? We were like
Yes.
kids. Yeah, I made it up to my whenever you, oh God, I'm like blanking right now. I made it up to your confession.
Oh, the confession and all that.
Yeah,
Yes.
confession and communion. And
Yes.
then yeah, once I was like 17 and it was like time for confirmation, I think kind of then I was like, I don't really quite see this being that much of an important thing for me moving forward.
Indeed.
I still have my faith and my own personal faith and what I believe and what I practice. It's
Yes.
just very fine tuned and
Of
not what I grew up
course.
with.
Well, no, I mean, I think that as we all get older and we all grow and develop as young women, young men, we find because ultimately, what's the main thing that good pastors and preachers will say? Isn't it not a personal relationship with the Most High? So
Exactly.
sometimes, I mean, for some people, that regimented going to that place they call church, where two or more are gathered in my name, that is what we call church. That is great for some people. Others, as you're highlighting it, you find other avenues to commune, should we say, and connect and to grow and to develop. Um, Others, fortunately and unfortunately, totally shun, totally push that Bible away and say that was fairy tales. I'm an adult now. I don't believe in anything, and I'm just going to live my life.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, I get it. I guess it's easy. It's easy to do that at a certain point.
Yeah, it is. It is. But again, wisdom, age, experience. I think, and if you think about it in this way, when something bad happens or people something tremendous is happening, what's the first thing that people say? Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yep, yep, yep.
It's like,
The first thing.
yeah, it really is. So it's good that you've got that foundation and you're still close and you're still growing and learning and stuff. That's excellent to hear. School wise, you were clearly you was at what, a gym rat, I guess.
You said a gym rat?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Uh,
I wasn't like a gym rat. I feel like in school I was kind of nerdy because like, I was like a dancer, so I was more like artsy, like nerdy,
yeah.
like moody, expressive. But I still, got along well, I'd say, with everyone, and I kind of
Okay.
like fit in everywhere and nowhere at once. Like, I was cool with everyone, I was around everywhere, but yeah, it was kind of weird.
You fit in, as you say, everywhere. You could kind of blend in with the popular guys, the nerds, the dancers, and I guess was there emos and all that kind of stuff down in Louisiana?
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Different experiences, but this all builds together and creates the woman that we see today. All of these learned and shared experiences, the highs, the lows. Um, what were some of the lessons that you was very much interested back then? Was it the physical stuff?
What do you
Out
mean?
like at school wise, was it algebra, maths, science, history?
Oh, I think for me, I was most interested in languages.
Hmm.
So just, particularly like English and grammar. And then I took a few years of French.
Parlez-vous
Sadly,
français?
I never took any Spanish, but
Okay. Parlez-vous français?
uh, oui, oh, cool.
I know a little bit as well, just a little bit. But that's another thing. I think it's good to have multiple languages in the bag. I mean, especially where you are, and Espanol is spoken so frequently. I think it's good to be able to, if speaking fluently would be wonderful, but that takes a lot of
Oh,
time.
absolutely. If I
Takes a,
could have like the core three of English, French, Spanish, that would be nice to kind of develop.
Yes, 100%. Well, travel-wise, let's move on to travel. I'm sure you've traveled a fair bit, young lady.
I have a little bit in recent years.
Fill us in. Where are some of the destinations you've gone to of late?
Let's see. Okay, so just recently I was in Estonia,
Ah,
which is Europe. It's what, like Eastern Europe?
Eastern Europe. Yes, indeed.
Yeah. So I was there for a little bit, for a couple weeks.
How did you?
Um,
Let's stay there. Let's stay there, young lady. Because I've heard of Estonia, I've seen footage of Estonia. I've never actually been.
okay.
Eastern Europe, I should say, is a very different place, especially for, let's say, brown people. So, what was your experience like there, young lady?
Um, it was so cute. I thought it was very like quaint and it felt very safe. Um, there weren't that many black people out there. I think I only saw a handful of us, but even still, I, never really felt too othered. I never felt like stared at too much. Like everyone felt pretty chill.
Good,
Um, and then luckily I was with like friends and fellow black people. So I had my people with me.
good.
And yeah, it was nice. It was gorgeous. The people were really nice. It was cute.
Excellent. And I guess, did you acclimatize weather-wise, or was it during the summer period you went over to Europe?
I mean, I guess it's still summer. It felt like summer. It was a little rainy there. I think
Mm,
it rained a little more there than it was here, than it would be here right now. But other than that, no, weather was good. Weather was decent. It was nice. It was
good.
nice.
Good to hear. And most importantly, as well, you got the experience and you've got that nice little stamp on your passport to say, I have entered through immigrations legally and I've experienced this country.
Exactly, exactly. Every time I'm very grateful because I know they're just like ramping up all these like security features and everything's getting
Mm,
crazy with traveling again. So
definitely, definitely. Have you made any trips to the Caribbean yet? Or the Caribbean, as y'all say?
would that be considered Jamaica?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
Last year I went to Jamaica.
So, was the foods, how did you find the food there, firstly?
Ooh, it was good. I liked it. I
Yeah.
liked it.
Did it beat back home, or was it akin, or was it a close runner-up in regards to the cuisine?
Oh, you mean compared to like Louisiana?
Yeah, because that's a high
Um,
bar. That's a high bar right there.
It really is. It really is a high bar. To me, the main difference is just like the spice level. I feel like in Louisiana, everything is just very, very like spicy, like heat turned up. I feel like in Jamaica, it was a little more like tame, like
Okay.
spice wise, but it was nice. It was like great seafood.
Mm,
Just trying local stuff. It was really good.
excellent. I'm sure you'd had the jerk chicken, right?
Yeah.
I saw that big smile
Oh
come to
yeah.
your face. Yes, that's one of the first
Oh
things.
yeah.
That's great to hear. Was that a vacation or was that work?
A little bit of both. I went first for a vacation. It was like a family vacation. I went with
Mhm.
my mom and some of her friends for like a week. And then after that, when she and her friends left, I then hopped down the street for like a work event, um, at like a nudist swingers resort.
I
And so I went
know.
and stayed
He-
there for like a week.
Was it hedonism?
Yeah.
Yes, I thought so. And what was that experience? Because I've seen we're going back a bit now. Mid 90s, there was multiple documentaries and that was aired. I don't think it was aired for US television, but for UK television.
Ooh.
And it was eye-opening to say the least. It was definitely eye-opening, just the freeness. I guess being in England and obviously in America, I'm in the brains of the beast. You're in the belly of the beast. Nudity is very looked upon quite down until you go to those type of places or you go to other sunny European places where there are nudist beaches, and it's not necessarily. There's two types. You've got the ones where it's just naturism and being free naked, and then you've got the other types where it's that mixed with, hey, young lady, you look very nice.
Yeah.
Let's do something kind of thing. So it's it's very interesting. It's very interesting. And fun, I guess. I mean, how was that week event at Hedonism?
It was fun. It was like an interesting mix of people. There was a lot of people there because it was like a special event week.
Okay,
Um and yeah, it was super cool. It was a good time.
excellent. Was there any other performers there as well, or was you the main attraction?
Oh no. So it was a group of us. It was actually a contest. One of my friends had entered into a webcam contest
Hmm.
and she won, and so she got to bring a friend with her. So she brought me. So it was like a group of us, like just content creators, performers. And we went and like, did different live streams every day and did different little events, and there were parties every night. And it was just really really nice, and I love environments like that where I
Yeah,
can just like be naked and exist and just like walk around and it's not weird because everyone's doing it. Like it's
yeah,
it's really nice.
I can imagine. Total let your hair down scene, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah,
So I take it that's something that you would definitely do again.
yeah, oh absolutely, I would love to.
Maybe it's something that you and some of the other content creators could create your own event there kind of thing, and get those people in, etc. The little pool. I guess you had the little pool parties every day. There was like a pool party and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, there's like a pool party, a dance floor, like a stage. There's a huge like buffet style like kitchen and
Mm,
bar, and it's huge. It's huge.
sounds wonderful for those who are that way inclined. Swingers that are like, were there many swingers, or was it a lot of singles? Like, what was the makeup? That's a good thing I think to ask.
I'd say it was more swingers. Like I saw a lot of couples, a lot of groups. Um, yeah, and then also like, everyone working there was like super cute too. Like it was a
Mm, it was a
vibe.
vibe. So I guess did you make any links? So now you've left Jamaica, you're gonna be doing content together, or have you created friendships from this week event?
I did. I did. I actually ended up making a lot of friends there. Just like everyone that was there with the group. Oh, so it was like a couple of groups. It was the webcam group that I was with, and there was like another group that was like hosting the event. So we kind of like meshed, and it was just like
Yeah.
this. Yeah, we meshed into this one big group of people, and so I've stayed connected and stayed in contact, and but everyone lives all over the place, so it's now just a matter of when are we going to be in the same country, same city
City,
again?
yes. Which is all part of the fun as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
The
Pretty
anticip
cool.
Yeah, definitely the anticipation of, oh, I haven't seen you in 6 months, what's going on? Where are we gonna meet kind of thing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
cool, man. That's real cool. So how did you go from being like a nerd and a friend to all ballet dancer to stripping and being an adult entertainer? What was that transition, and like how did all that come about? Avery?
Um, it's so funny. I always like make this joke that it's a very common thing. Actually, it's like the failed dancer to like stripper pipeline, because I see so many girlies who used to dance who now strip. Um, just because I mean honestly, it really does give you an upper hand if you do have a dance background. Like it makes it so much easier when you already have like flexibility skills and like strength and endurance training and stuff like that. Um
Well,
but yeah,
well,
no, I don't know.
el-
I feel like
I was just going to say, elaborate on that a little bit more because I don't think people understand the physical work that it takes to, I mean, outside of just standing there and looking pretty and gyrating, we're talking about, again, an art which is almost lost of sorts when you think of the stripper culture. It's getting on that bloody pole and hoisting yourself up and spinning around and doing all those bloody tricks, which is amazing. Like that strength, that
Yes,
core strength
and in
needed.
high heels, in high heels, you
Mm,
know?
yes. So there's clearly a difference to someone, as you say, who's classically trained and who has that core strength and has that endurance as well, to someone who's now is just looks good. I've been here for like 6 months kind of thing, and I'm trying a thing. Like you can see the difference, right?
Yeah, I think so. I definitely think so. You can kind of tell just like in movement, like who's had dance experience, like who knows how to move their body, who has, more flexibility in
Mm.
their body. I think.
So I guess you can do the splits and all manner of things, the backward arch thing. What's that move called when you do
Like a back bend?
back? Okay, back bend, simple as. Okay, yeah, you and then the retreating back into the upright position. You're cool with all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Excellent. So for the ladies then who want to develop their flexibility to be able to maybe do the back bend or to do the splits, how does one do such? How does one develop their body to do such?
Stretching. Either like get into classes because you could find stretching classes like yoga classes, Pilates bar.
Mm,
You're gonna find stretching classes or even YouTube. You can find good ways to stretch and find like free workouts and exercises on YouTube.
hmm.
But definitely just stretching like every day.
Every day.
Every day. I don't practice what I preach because I don't stretch every day like I should be, but every day.
And when you say every day, so when you are stretching, what's the length of period we're talking? Like 5 minute, a 5, 10 minute stretch kind of thing, or is this a prolonged 30 minute, 20 minute kind of thing?
I mean, I think if you could squeeze in like an hour of stretching every day, if not, like, if you say like work out, maybe like, at least like 30 minutes, maybe like 15 before, 15 after your
Okay.
workout,
Yeah.
or even like, even when you're like laying down in bed, you could even just like do little like leg exercises and like ab core workouts for like 15 minutes, So if you can find 15 minutes spread out throughout the day and pop a little something in, but just a little something
Yeah.
to, yeah, loosen up your hips and just kind of stretch a little bit.
Bite-sized pieces. This is what it is. Um, then no, that's good. That's a good tip, that is. And what about for the men who want to be a bit more limber in the waist area? Same principle, right?
Yeah, same thing. Stretch. Man, you gotta stretch it out too.
100%, 100%. But it's a slippery slope of sorts, finding that time. There
Kind
is
of.
there is
Kind of.
time. I mean, it is alleged, Avery, that we have 24 hours in a day. I question that. I question that every year. We revolve around the sun, as they allege. I mean, like it's tricky. It's tricky. But if you if you want it, you've got to go for it, right?
Exactly. If you want it, you'll do it.
Hmm. So yes. So going back to your transition then. So how did it all happen? So we're dancing away and we're busting our ass. We're making some money clearly, but then does someone say, "Hey, have you thought about going to the old boom boom room?" Because you
Well, so I danced up until I moved to California, and then from there I kind of just like stopped. Life hit, California hit, where I was like, oh, okay, it's much different from Louisiana. It's much more expensive than Louisiana.
Yes.
So then I kind of just like fell down the rabbit hole of like LA and like, I went back to school for a little bit. I worked a lot of different jobs, from like retail, restaurants, like just all over the place, like smoothie bars, just all kinds of different jobs. And then oh yeah, and so I guess what started it was um one day I wanted to buy a vibrator, and so I went to a sex shop. And when I was in there, it was my first time at a sex shop, and so I was like, holy shit, you know? And so there was this guy working there, and I asked him, I was like, how do you like get a job here, like, like what are the qualifications? And he said, you it's literally just a retail job, only we sell dicks. So like, he was like, do you need a job? Because like I'm hiring, like please. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess I need a job, like I don't have one right now. So I brought in my resume and he gave me the job on the spot, and so I worked at a sex shop. And I feel like that really, really started it. Like that started me down like
The
just this
rabbit hole.
rabbit hole.
Yes, the exposure. So I guess so. Pardon self. The first day you're there, you're just seeing all this content. You're seeing all these toys and stuff, and your mind's just blown, I guess.
Yeah, and funny enough, that was even like before the days of content creation, really. Like, not, I mean, content creation's always been a thing, but before like content really blew up,
Hmm.
um, that was like, I want to say at least like, what, like 10 years ago now?
So we're going back a bit. We're going way back then.
Oh yeah, this was back a bit. So about like 10 years. So basically, essentially, I got the job at the sex shop, and it was around the time that 50 Shades of Grey came out, like the movies.
Yes. Then everyone
So
was
it was
started getting
around
into the
then.
the kink and the bondage stuff, right?
Yeah, so essentially that's what happened was that movie came out, and my boss kind of sent all of us to like these like seminars, like BDSM 101 seminars, where he was like, please just go learn about this, that way when people come in and they're like looking for toys and stuff and they mention 50 Shades of Grey, like just go learn what that shit is.
Yes.
So, I went, me and some of the girls went and like took notes and like, we're going to learn about stuff. But of course,
Studying.
when you have like a bunch of like young, pretty girls go to like BDSM classes and like dungeons and stuff, like we were pretty popular and people wanted to invite us to parties and events and things. And so it was like pretty quickly I was like hanging out at dungeons and like going to DomCon, which is like this like dominatrix convention.
Wow, I've never heard of that one.
Yeah, I pretty much I joined the lifestyle and was in for a while. Um but it was kind of like a mix. It was a mix of like swinger lifestyle and just like BDSM lifestyle because they are
Okay.
different.
Oh yes, 100% different. 100%
Yeah.
different. So what drew you to the kink then?
Um, I don't know. I feel like I've always been a fan of like unique experiences and intense experiences.
Hmm.
So it was like, I went to the little classes and was like, oh, this actually like sounds interesting. Like, like what is this?
Yeah.
And then once I started getting invited to things, I was like, well, of course I'm going to show up and like do the things and experience the things. And yeah, I feel for me it was pretty immediate. I was like, oh, this is definitely something that like fits me.
Perfect. That
Yeah.
that's and that's a long time ago, that is, if you think about it.
It's been about a decade, a full
Yeah.
decade now for me of like kink, and like BDSM, sex work, all of it.
So from the BDSM, did you start to perform at that on camera, on film at that point, or was this all back office kind of stuff?
This was all off camera back then. Back then it was like private sex parties
Mm.
and like dungeons and events, like just different like kink nights. But I was doing like live performances, live sex shows. Um, yeah, just doing like all kinds of different stuff, like rope bondage, suspensions, like playing with fire.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
just
okay.
like all kinds of
Let's
stuff.
For some, they won't know what on earth you're talking about. So the rope, the rope suspension stuff. Could you just elaborate a little bit on that?
So I would get tied up with rope, with like different designs and harnesses with the rope. And then from
Yes.
there, they use a pulley system and they pull you up. So you're like hanging off the ground, fully suspended. But, the way they can move you around and move different limbs around with different ties, you can just make different designs with your body and like different like difficulty levels with your suspensions. But it's
Yes.
really beautiful. It's like, it could be a sexual thing, it could be an artistic thing.
Mm,
Um, for some people it's almost like a therapeutic thing. It's really
yes.
cool.
I have most definitely heard that people do find it very therapeutic on both ends, whether I can't remember, it's been such a long time since I was in had these conversations. What's the two terms? The giver and receiver, the sub and the dom.
So yeah, like the either like the top and the bottom or the sub and the dom.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They do. I have heard a lot of times that they feel very euphoric in the in the acts, and
Oh yeah.
as you say, there is an art to it. Some of the tying of the ropes and up, as you say, the designs, it is very interesting. Very
Oh
interesting
yeah.
if you're in that world.
Oh yeah. It's beautiful. It's like beautiful, intricate, and just like design work, but also, it's an interesting, like
So
physical art
yeah,
form.
and I guess it plays into your flexibility as well with the roping elements. 'Cause
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to play around with like different shapes and like what shapes you can make with your body and how you
Mm,
can like use your flexibility and make different things. It's so fun.
definitely. And you've won awards as well, haven't you? AVN awards.
I haven't won an AVN
Oh,
yet. I
n
have been nominated, I want to say every year since beginning. But no, I have won two Urban X
Urban
awards.
X, that was it. Urban X awards. Okay. Congratulations on that, young lady.
Thank you.
And what were the two awards for?
So let's see. We actually just had the Urban X like a couple weeks ago. It's like two
I
weeks
saw
ago.
all
Yeah,
I
like a
saw
week and a half, two
yeah,
weeks.
I saw the images and stuff. I was like, yeah,
Yeah, it was cute. It was nice. So this year I took home hottest fetish star, and then last year I won female performer of the year.
congrats. Out of so
Mhm.
many, I mean, how thousands, right? That are in the industry.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah,
That
I got some awesome fans. I think with Urban X, I'm pretty sure with Urban X, it's like fan nominations and then
yes,
fan voting. So, yeah, my fans kill it.
100% because as you've been nominated multiple times for AVN and you don't
Yeah.
seem to be pushing. So, okay, elephant in the room. There's obviously Urban X and there's AVN. Are they making inroads to close that inequality gap that there seems to be that seems to be within the industry?
Yeah, I don't know. At this point, I feel like there's just a handful of like award shows now, and I guess they all serve their purposes of you know, who they'll represent and what they'll represent.
Yeah.
So, for now, AVN is still the largest one. It's like the most renowned one.
Yes.
Um, but I think, all of the award shows kind of have their place. Like Urban X has a Hall of Fame, which, only very particular award shows are going to have like a Hall of Fame and extend back, that far back.
Mm.
Like historically. There's like the alt erotic awards that are more so for like the alternative crowd, for like the tattooed girlies and the
Ah.
just more like more alternative. But interestingly enough, I get nominated for that one every year too, because they are still very inclusive of just recognizing niche performers.
Niche.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we have a lot of award shows that are gonna recognize like niche performers. Avian kind of still just sticks to the standard, like
Mm.
your standard stereotypical what you'd expect,
Yes.
what you'd expect
Indeed. But as you
the
say,
default to be.
blink, blink, blink. But as you say, they all have their place, right?
Yeah, exactly. There's quite a few. I'm like starting to forget. Oh yeah, there's XBiz. Um,
Oh, of course. XBiz isn't that big though, is it?